Hey everyone, Miff here, and welcome back to my Completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with the SCS mod. And it is time to do some dungeoning in this one, so let's go straight down here into the Ulcaster School Ruins. Now the Ulcaster School Ruins and the Firewine Bridge, a lot of people don't like because of their layout here, as you can see, and as you will be able to see a little bit later. And those dungeons are much like labyrinths. And I kind of like the idea, but I do agree that it's a little annoying when it comes to pathfinding, when you play with a full party especially. But it's a cool idea. They look cool in my opinion. They look like real dungeons. You can see like some skulls, bones, like, you know, dark hallways with torches. This is a very like old school looking dungeon. Here we're going to visit this part of the dungeon to kill this mustard jelly for some 2000 experience. Now master jellies shouldn't be too big of a problem. I was leading in with Jahira and Yeslik so that the attacks of that mustard jelly hopefully miss. Yeah. So we don't get slowed. Because the attacks of a mustard jelly are pretty nasty. Another potion of mirrored eyes here. We're pretty much set on those. I could probably sell some of them. I probably don't need that many. And this ochre jelly is pretty easy. Now we need to go back to the start and venture forth into this passage, which is the main kind of passage throughout the whole dungeon. So I'm going to have Jahira walk in the front. Although, I think I can already buff Senashiro with shield, I think. I'm going to use shield in this dungeon. I don't really need any better potions to use here. It's a dagger +1. Oh, even Senashiro can identify that. And a potion of genius. Alright, there's going to be some wolves here. But I would appreciate if you didn't block the passage for everyone else, Kirinai. Alright, here is a potion of strength. Oh, the container is full. We need to get rid of some of these worse potions. Like these potions of strength here, they only give 18 strength, so they're not that useful. We have plenty of better ones, and this antidote is of course like a bad antidote, cursed one or whatever. So let's just give these to someone else. Actually, I could free up some space on Senashira here.
Yes?
Yeah. Anyway, here there's kind of like a little spider lair. Alright, 4 of them here. Just pull them over here so that we can have a little better position to deal with them, instead of getting stuck in this narrow passage. Now let's just finish off the last one here. So there's a little treasure here. As you will see, basically the primary treasure here in this dungeon are some potions and a wand of fire. The wand of fire here I think only has like 8 charges or something. A pretty low amount, but it's still nice because we're pretty much out of fireballs at this point. And thanks to that new wand of fire that we're going to get here, we're going to have a little bit more of them at our disposal. And we're going to be able to pretty much, like, you know, spend the charges on some of our wands there. In general, now at this point in the game, once we have access to Baldur's Gate City, there's like a lot of wands of fire and just a lot of different pieces of equipment that we can get in Baldur's Gate. Wow. Stop getting those critical hits, man. Like, that is going to always be a problem with Senashira. She is a Kensai, so she cannot wear a helmet. And that means that she is vulnerable to critical hits and receiving that double damage.
Yes, certainly. I am here.
So there's nothing up there.
Yes?
Here we're going to go down or go like to this southern passage with Koran, because there's one trap here in this like pointless room. But, you know, gotta get that 40 experience, man, for disarming that trap. Boom. Right, and there's going to be another trap here, and here we have like, kind of like a little hint that a trap might be here, because there's this corpse of someone that probably died from triggering that trap.
Yes, it is done.
Alright, and we get a little few arrows of biting and of piercing. Alright, and now we're close to this fight with it's one of the really cool things about SCS. Hope this wolf doesn't get pulled here. But basically I mentioned that in my introductory video, that a really cool change that SCS does in this dungeon is change the final battle here. Because normally in the Ulcaster's dungeon, the final battle is with a vampiric wolf. And of course a vampiric wolf, depending on where you are with your playthrough, like what level you are at, you know, what's your gear situation and whatnot. A vampiric wolf, of course, at certain stages of the game can be a pretty tough opponent, because a vampiric wolf is immune to non-magical weapons, and it can paralyze on hit. But other than that, you know, it's just a regular vampiric wolf, nothing special about him. But here SCS makes actually a complete change here. It's going to be a Wolf of Ulcaster, which is a unique type of a vampiric wolf. That has like 200 HP, I think, and it has a couple of different abilities, a couple of different howls. So that's why we're going to pre-buff with Remove Fear, because one of his howls is a pretty much a horror spell. And we're going to also have this another Remove Fear at the ready, because the Wolf of Ulcaster can also remove magic, so we can our Remove Fear can get dispelled. So we're going to be prepared with this one to quickly rebuff. Now I guess I'm going to Barkskin Kiranai. We're going to have shield and mirror images on Imoen, because that wolf, you know, he has quite a few abilities. He has a Greater Malison spell to lower our saving throws. He has that remove magic and then the fear. He also can summon quite a few additional creatures like ghouls to his aid, and of course he is also at the same time, you know, still a vampiric wolf, so he is still immune to non-magical weapons, can still paralyze. So let's get these combat boosts here. And yeah, I think I'm going to use another potion on Seneshira, since we're out of heals here. And actually, you know what? I think... What's your attack over here? 12, 13, you have at least 1.5 attacks. Yeah, Jaheira has a club +2. I'm just debating... you know what, instead of like throwing out these potions of 18 strength, let's have Yeslik and Jaheira use one of them, just so they receive a little boost to their performance. Alright, so now her taco is 1 better, and I think her damage is 1 better. Alright, so let us approach. I'm going to kind of spread out a little here. I would like some melee guys to be at various sides of this room. And yeah, let's pull that wolf. So here's the Wolf of Ulcaster. Come on, bro. And I'm going to... Alright, so he cast Horror, this Howl of Terror. I am going to really focus my damage on that wolf, because we need to kill it quickly. Of course, we need magical weapons. So we're going to go in melee with Kiranai. And basically I think this fight shouldn't be that hard now, because normally also the thing with these dungeons, the Ulcaster ruins and the Firewine Bridge ruins, is that they're kind of supposed to be a little bit of a mid-game dungeon, maybe lower level dungeon, and I usually do them much earlier in the game. Oh yeah, nice damage from that wand. So anyway, I usually do them much earlier in the game. At least let's give him a chance to do something. Okay, he paralyzed Kiranai. I'm going to stop attacks for a second, so that he can summon his ads. Alright, Howl of the Grave. He summons like 3 ghouls, and some dread wolves are going to periodically stream in, I think, generally in this encounter. Alright, so now that they are summoned, let's continue on with our fight. You know what? You could use probably an Ganazar Scorcher here. And switch to a melee weapon. Deal with those 2. And yeah, we have 3 ghouls on our hands now. So let's focus our attacks on that Wolf of Ulcaster to quickly kill it before it can do much more harm. So remove magic now, that Howl of Disenchantment hit. Alright, so that's pretty cool because it removed the hold effect on Kirinai, but of course it also removed our protection from fear, so I'm going to quickly rebuff with Yeslik. And now Senashira is held, which is much worse because she's of course our main hero, and if she dies it's game over. So the Wolf of Ulcaster is near death, and I really want it dead now, because Senashira is getting auto-hit by all these ghouls and stuff. I think Yeslik isn't even in range of this Wolf of Ulcaster. Now our saving throws are lowered because of that Greater Malison. Anyway, I think I need to really get rid of this wolf, man. Let's use another charge of this wand. Alright, now it's dead. Now we need to take care of these ghouls. And Koran is also paralyzed now. This is not looking good. Alright, mirror images on Imoen ran out. Or got cut through. Let's just not incentivize these wolves to hit Senashira while she's paralyzed, and everything should be fine. It's always like that, you know, in this playthrough I've noticed that either I hype up an encounter and then it goes super easily, or I say that something shouldn't be a problem and then it goes horribly wrong. like with Nimble, for example, or in this encounter. Basically my whole point was that, you know, normally I do these dungeons much earlier in the game, and they are a much bigger challenge then. But now, in this playthrough, it's pretty unusual for me how I did that, because we are already after Cloakwood. I pretty much always do these before Cloakwood, but now in this playthrough, you know, because of my party composition, because of I wanted to have Koran with the ability to detect and disarm traps with him, and also there's a quest with him from the NPC Project in the Firewine Ruins map, or the Firewine Bridge map. There's a quest involving him. So I kind of wanted to have him, and you know, I wanted to do the whole Cloakwood then. So it's kind of unusual for me to do this late. But anyway, here's our second Wand of Fear, Wand of Fire, of course. And there's another trap here before the main loot pile. This is like a pile of bodies, and we're going to like search through that to get our loot. Okay. I mean, adventuring is not always a pretty job, I guess. So yeah, we got some more potions. We got a little bit of an addition to our Armageddon Tactics arsenal. We got another one of these bad antidotes. And a potion of strength, some more acid arrows, which is nice. Some more cold arrows, and this book for the Ghost of Ulcaster. So this is, yeah, Ulcaster's Dusty History book. It's a history of the Sisters of Light and Darkness. And this is basically like the genesis, the origin story of how Toril came to be. I guess how it was the creation story. So I'm going to scroll slowly through this. This is pretty interesting, although a pretty long book. It basically describes like the Shantia is kind of like the goddess, the Earth Mother. And then there are going to be 2 goddesses that are opposites of each other. Selune, the goddess of the moon, and Shar, the goddess of darkness. And that's basically, you know, kind of a cool story about the conflict that ensues between Selune and Shar. And Selune, you know, is kind of like a good aligned goddess, while Shar is evil. And Shar is worshipped by Viconia in the game, and Selune is worshipped by Rasad, the Enhanced Edition monk. Alright, so of course I'm scrolling slowly here so that you can pause every once in a while and read it for yourself. And now we are done in this dungeon, so we can go back and give this book back to the Ghost of Ulcaster. Now let's just quickly look for him, because he can wander off and sometimes can be a little difficult to find. But yeah, knowledge returns with these simple words on parchment. To teach once more in a celestial class, I will prevent the same from happening someday. And of course, NPC Project comment here from Imoen. And this is not everything that the Ghost of Ulcaster can do for you. There's another kind of a quest involving him, but I'm going to talk more about it once we get a certain item.
I know nothing more, so leave me to go.
Right, now we're pretty badly bruised after this whole encounter.
I am indeed.
And where I'm going to go is Gullykin. And unfortunately, Gullykin is a type of village where you can't really rest that easily. So, you know what, quickly before Gullykin, I think I'm going to return to Beregost. I'm going to rest here. I think maybe do a little of an identification session while we heal up, so that we can get rid of some of this loot that we've managed to acquire over the last couple of episodes. So we're going to load up MON with identification spells. And after identifying and healing up, we're going to be able to go back to adventuring. And I think I'm going to already change my spells a little bit, because in preparation for the Firewine Bridge map, I think I'm going to get Spell Thrust and maybe Detect Illusion, or maybe Remove Magic I should go for. Although Remove Magic is not going to be that effective. We're going to be kind of facing off against a level 12 dude there, so it's probably not going to work. Yeah, this should be good, I think.
Yes?
Anyway, let's rest once now. Now we can do some identifying. Oh yeah, Emma needs to drop all this stuff and give herself some room. Alright. First, Boots of Speed, of course, doubles the movement rate, as you could see. Now this sword, finally, Spider's Bane +2. It's a really cool sword. It protects the wielder from any magic that would adversely affect movement. So, as you could see, we could have the Boots of Speed effect with being protected against hold and web. So it's still, even though, like I said, we don't have a dedicated like two-handed sword user, it's still a nice weapon to hold on to for certain situations. Alright, let's identify this finally. This is the Cloak of Non-Detection, the one that we got in Cloakwood from the bunch of Tasloi. And I wanted to kind of talk about this cloak a little bit, because it's pretty unique. We're probably going to make some use of it in Baldur's Gate 2. Because in Baldur's Gate 1 I probably am not going to go like stealthing around with anyone. Maybe a little bit with Koran. But anyway, this cloak, as it says, it actually doesn't do as it says, as it's written here. Because it doesn't protect you while you are invisible through magical means. It won't do anything to protect you against like detect invisibility and scrying if you are invisible. However, if you are hidden in stealth, as in the thief ability to hide in shadows, then it will protect you. And there are certain mods that kind of quote-unquote fix it, but I think it makes this cloak too powerful. If you are just undetectable when you are invisible and have this cloak, you can have like improved invisibility and this cloak, and like nothing can be done against you. And that really messes up with SCS AI as well, because they just try to, you know, dispel your invisibility, and they just can't, because, you know, the SCS AI, I guess, is not prepared to you know, face off against such an overpowered item, I guess, that just makes you undetectable through anything. Like, that just breaks the game. But there are mods like that if you'd like to have this cloak work differently. But I think, as it is, it's pretty useful in Baldur's Gate 2, for example. If you have a dedicated, like a backstabber, you can have this, and the backstabber is just not going to get, you know, brought out of stealth by some detection spell. And you know, it's way better when it just only works on stealth, because while you're in stealth you can't do anything. You can just backstab out of it, but that of course puts you out of stealth, and you can't take advantage of this cloak while, you know, being improved invisible, for example, which makes you untargetable with single target spells. Oh yeah, we're going to of course identify this Robe of the Evil Archmagi, another 10,000 gold for us. And these bracers of armor class 6. It's pretty much the best armor class bracers that you can get in Baldur's Gate 1. But we're not going to make use of them. I really should... Oh, you can just identify that katana +1. As you can see, katanas as a one-handed weapon, they have 1d10 base damage, which is the highest. But that's basically kind of the problem with them as well, because, like I said many times, because of that, they pretty much suffer from always having kind of like a lower enchantment level compared to other weapons. So here's some studded leather +1. How many identifies do you have left, my dear? 2 more. Oh yeah, this plate +1 we can identify to sell it. This you might be able to identify on your own. Nope, not yet. So this is Faloraine's plate, just a plate armor +1. It's worse than anything that we have right now, because not only does it have worse armor class than full plate, but it's also magically enchanted, so that means that you cannot wear a ring of protection +1, for example, together with it, or any of those protection items like that. So let's identify this NPC Project spear that we got from Andarthe, the Shadow Archdruid from Cloakwood. As you can see, this spear gives you 20% fire resistance, it's like whatever. 50% chance of dealing fire damage on hit, which is pretty nice, but this is what we're interested in. It can cast Fire Shield Red once per day. Fire Shield is a pretty nice spell that basically grants you 50% fire resistance. It says red because there's also a blue one. I think we have a scroll of Fire Shield Blue that we got from that fight with Drasus's group. And so we're going to, I think, hold on to the spear just to maybe cast some Fire Shield Red on ourselves. It gives us 50% fire resistance, and also whenever we're hit, it's going to the attacker is going to be hit by some fire damage. And also in SCS it has an added utility value, I guess. That matters mostly in Baldur's Gate 2, that it stops the insect spells. Alright, so you can hold on to that for now. Maybe you could identify just some of these arrows on your own. What do you say? Yeah, acid arrows, nice, we can stack those. Arrows of biting, not yet. Arrows of ice, yes, please. And arrows of fire. Alright, time for another rest.
I got some cheap beer for ya.
Okay, now let's keep identifying. Those are just spears +1. I'm pretty surprised that she cannot just use them, identify them all on her own, since those are just +1 items. What else did we have? Oh, of course, the Wand of Fire, the Morning Star +1. We need to organize our arrows a little bit better. Yeah, Morning Star +1, that's going to be something for Yeslik. Yeah, this Wand of Fire, yeah, 8 charges. Well, it's still, you know, pretty good for us when it comes to fireballs. We have now a couple of more fireballs at our disposal. These Wands of Fear, now this has 10 charges, this one has 6, so I'm going to sell the one with 6 charges. Probably not even going to run out of charges on any of these fear wands, I guess. Now let's just give these robes to someone who can sell them in bulk. I guess Kirinai. Now these scrolls. How many? Alright, not many. You know, since we are already here, I think I'm going to rest once more to just identify some more stuff. Just so we are done with it. once and for all. This is the club +2, just a regular club +2 that you get from Amarande, the first Archdruid that we've faced off against. So we have some cursed rings that we've picked up along the way, another Iron Thorn, the Discipliner again. This has 15 charges, okay. Who's selling? You are selling this one. And you can keep the rings, I guess. And this is going to be pretty much it. We have 3 more identifies, so let's get some of these scrolls identified, I guess. Yeah, Cursed Scroll of Ugliness. Cursed Scroll of Petrification. Yeah, I can ruin your life, man. Literally. And Protection from Acid. That's one. This one is actually good. Okay. So let's see what we can sell here to this dude. Yeah, we're going to sell this Whispers of Silence, the Cloak of Non-Detection. We're not going to make use of it in this playthrough. Yeah, Robe of the Evil Archmagi for 10,000. Yes, please. You of course won't buy any weapons. We're going to visit Tehran soon. I probably... Do I have one of these thorn rings saved up somewhere? Because I wanted to use that on someone. A little bit later. I wanted to use that one. Yeah, I think I need to buy that back. Yeah, I must have sold it to him. Yeah, because he has 2 of them. Anyway. Because we still have this cursed belt of masculinity, femininity. I have a certain idea. I have a certain plan for this item, but it's going to be something that happens later. I'm going to give that one to Imoen, who holds kind of our quest items, I guess, and just gonna hold on to that one. Can we sell any of these robes? Yes, we can. Yeah, this one he won't take, and we wouldn't even look at this value depreciation. He won't buy a stolen good because this is Baloth's robe, which is considered, you know, stolen item. But you know, I wouldn't want to sell this one to him for just 6,000 instead of 10. Alright, so now let's load up Imoen with proper spells. We're going to rest one more time to just reload her stuff here.
It is done.
And let's rest once in this royal room. And I didn't check, of course, I should have went to Tehran's shop before resting, so that we could trade with him. But now we have so much room that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Yeah, look at that. Oh, this spear is actually significant. I might hold on to it on Seneshira. Anyway, let us now progress to Gullykin. Oh, this is the ambush that I was talking about. That is kind of a really nasty move. Really nasty move. And this is where these potions of mirrored eyes come into play, because you can immediately protect yourself against the petrifying gaze of a basilisk and just deal with him. But this is a really nasty move, because of course, you know, the petrification gaze can kill you instantly. A nasty one. Anyway, let's proceed to Gullykin. And Gullykin is a halfling village, and this map is pretty cool looking. It has kind of like a valley in it, but basically it's kind of empty, especially with SCS, because aside from this northern area where the village itself is located, normally down here there's Molkar's bounty hunter group here. In a place where you might not even find them in a normal playthrough, so you know, SCS relocates that group, of course, into an ambush site that they can, and we've of course dealt with them many episodes ago. But yeah, that's all this map has to offer, pretty much.
It is
But
done.
first, let's talk to Gandalar Luckyfoot here. He's the leader of the village.
Traveler, Gandalar Luckyfoot at your disposal.
And we can ask about the Firewine ruins. And then if we talk to him again,
Is our pride and joy.
he basically has a quest for us to clear out the Firewine ruins. So we can agree to that. In this halfling village also there's a change
Certainly.
from the NPC project, because there's going to be this NPC, this recruitable NPC, Alora, right here. Normally she's only available in Baldur's Gate City, and she's trying to steal some stuff from a museum of Gond in Baldur's Gate City, but the NPC project, you know, moves her where it makes sense for her to be. She's also a halfling thief with kind of a cool, unique item to her, a lucky rabbit's foot that the enhanced edition actually fixed because it wasn't implemented properly in the classic Baldur's Gate 1. So she's a very good thief, being a halfling, having that unique rabbit's foot, and just having good stats, and she's a very likable character in my opinion.
Blast and bother. These locks have always given me trouble. Trouble they are.
So the NPC project, of course, changes her dialogue here. She's basically excited to see us because she wants to go adventuring. So yeah, so she wants to join our group, and I'm going to do what I usually do. I guess I'm going to recruit her for a moment and immediately remove her, so she just goes back to the friendly arm to chill out there if I ever reconsider, although the chance for that is pretty much 0%. Yeah, she's a very likable character in my opinion, but some people find her annoying because she can be a little bit much when it comes to some of her lines.
Whatever you wish.
Yeah, so she can go to the friendly arm.
Whatever you need. Hey there, hi there.
So cute. Hey there, hi there. Anyway, there's a couple of these halfling buildings here to steal from. Except this one. This one pretty much has like a gem or two, and that's pretty much it. But other than that, some of these, they actually can call the guards here, some halfling enforcers, so we're not going to go all out when it comes to looting these houses. But pretty much these houses here, like there's something a little bit interesting in each one of them. Like I think this one has a sling +1. And we're going to be able to loot. One of them has a potion of defense, which is a nice potion.
Luck be a lady.
It is done.
So we're going to just quickly loot them.
Yes, indeed.
Takes me.
Oh yeah, here's the sling +1. We can give that to Jaheira.
I am here.
She has a +1 sling now. And of course, when it comes to
Concern, indeed. Yes, it is done.
looting the place, you can get stuck a little bit with all of your party members when you have a full party because of this halfling architecture. Alright, so some minor valuables we were able to get from there.
It is done.
I'm just going to quickly explore these buildings and see if we can painlessly steal some more. And we're going to visit the winery, and Gandalar Luckyfoot mentioned that there is a secret passage to the Firewine Bridge ruins through their winery, and that is true. And basically there are like 3 entrances to that, to those ruins. Okay, so we have a halfling dude here,
It is done.
so I'm not going to risk it
Indeed.
when it comes to like stealing. Like I said, that potion of defense is pretty nice, but it's nothing really to like get in trouble over.
It is done.
Wherever fate takes me.
Yes, it is done.
Okay, there's no one there.
Wherever fate
Probably something to open.
luck be a
I
Yep.
am indeed. Yes,
Alright, got some minor treasures.
It is done.
a little bit of gold. And now here's the winery. I'm not going to visit this building. We're going to visit this building a little bit later. I think it's going to make a little bit more sense when it comes to doing the story, especially since there's another kind of passage in the basement of this building, but SCS has one component that I of course have installed that basically makes it inaccessible. So I will elaborate what it does a little bit later. Let's just visit this winery, and I think it's going to be time to end this episode.
Indeed.
Let's just... Koran has a little thing to say here from the NPC Project. Do not offer me a drink ever again. So here's Alvan Hendar,
Certainly.
who is... his disposition towards adventurers is not the greatest here.
Eh? Who's this then? More intrepid fools on the road to a beating?
Yeah, I think it's basically it's a pretty cool thing that the temple to Yondala, I think, is it's both a temple and a winery. So we can buy some usual clerical services from him. We're not going to make use of that. And then when we go to
Certainly.
the basement here, there's going to be a secret passage. Alright, here it is.
Indeed.
And I think we're going to go into that passage
Certainly.
in the next episode. And we're going to clear out the Firewine Bridge ruins then. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.